Well, hello everyone. It's good to see you tonight on Friday night. I am going to talk a little bit tonight about something very important. I'm going to be starting a new video series called What is Reformation Theology? But tonight I want to do kind of not a long video tonight because I've been getting over allergies and a cold, as I'm sure you can hear in the sound of my voice. So I have a little something to drink here. Don't worry, it's not alcoholic. I promise. I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about God's sovereignty and the upcoming elections here in the United States. I've already done my duty and I have voted. And if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that yes, I've talked about the fact that I'm going to that I was going to vote for Donald Trump, which I did. Now, let me make something very, very clear. I'm not thrilled with the fact that Donald Trump is not as conservative or as pro-life as I would like for him to be, nor is the Republican Party. But still, when I look at the comparisons between the Republicans and the Democrats, there are still light years of differences. Look, I can never vote for the Democrats. The Democratic Party is an evil, satanic death cult, with abortion vans right outside the Democratic National Convention. Come on. But I want to talk about God's sovereignty and the issue of the upcoming elections. It is very, very important that Christians vote. And I've heard some Christians over the years say, well, God is sovereign, and he's in control, so why do I need to vote? You need to vote because it's your Christian responsibility. And there is a lot on the line. And I want to say that it's just that simple, but it's not just that simple. Yes, God knows everything. Yes, God is in control of everything. But we need to understand how serious this is. I think it's very important for Christians to vote because even, God is sovereign, but, it's And I'm looking for some stuff to support what I'm trying to tell you. It's important for us to understand that, yes, he's in control, but what we have to do is to understand that you have to understand that God's sovereignty should never. I think what I'm trying to say here, folks, is let's not use the sovereignty of God as an excuse not to go out and vote. We need to do this. I've already done it, and I want to encourage you to do it. I think one of the issues here is that is that we need to understand that God's sovereignty does not negate human responsibility, but rather empowers it. And I think that's one of the best ways that can be said, because I think what we want to do here, and what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make a very important point here, and it's on page 743, volume 1, Reformed Systematic Theology, Revelation in God. Joel Beakey and Paul Smalley make a very, very important point. And, they're dealing with objections to divine foreknowledge that get raised. And, wouldn't you just love it when you're doing a video and your telephone rings? That's what you're hearing. But we're going to keep on going because this is important. So pardon the interruption, folks. Thank you and have a great day. So, folks, I really appreciate your tolerance here. It's just, this is one of the things that's going on when you're making a video about God's sovereignty and the upcoming elections, and you get a message saying that some vote by mail ballot is on the way and you haven't even requested one. By the way, if you're having trouble with that, let's say you're like me, and this is a sidebar item, but it's really important here. If you're like me and you have already early voted, but you still get a message saying that a vote by mail ballot is on the way to you, let me encourage you to get free legal help from the American Center for Law and Justice. Just go to www.aclj.org/help. That's what I'm going to do at the end of this video, because this is really ridiculous. We need to pray also for God's protection over the elections. I've never seen anything like this in my life. But here's the point that I want to try to circle back to. This is not going to be a long video, like I said, because even though my voice has gotten better, you can still hear it. And I apologize for the coughing, but I needed to go live tonight to talk to you about this. And as we get into this, as we get deeper into this, I'll go longer, because there's so much I want to cover when it comes to what is Reformed theology. But I wanted to start by talking a little bit about God's sovereignty. And I want to talk about right now God's sovereignty and human responsibility. One of the objections that Paul Smalley and Joel Beeke refute is that the objection here that they refute is this: God cannot know our future free decisions, for they are not determined and have no reality until we make them. And this was a couple of guys say this. A guy by the name of Biddle, and in his book or in his work, A Twofold Catechism, and a guy by the name, excuse me, a guy by the name of Greg Boyd, who wrote a book called God of the Possible. He's a very blatant open theist, and open theism is not biblical; it's heretical. But what they say, what Beeke says, is this: if they were determined, then we would have no freedom to choose otherwise when the time came. Therefore, Socinians and open theists conclude that exhaustive divine foreknowledge would destroy human responsibility, a clear biblical doctrine. In reply, we'd observe that this is the heart of the opposition to God's foreknowledge, the theological presupposition that human responsibility trumps divine lordship over the future. Augustine found the same line of reasoning in Cicero's philosophical treatise on divination. But where is this presupposition excuse me taught in the Bible? Furthermore, there is no clear logical contradiction between exhaustive divine foreknowledge and authentic human responsibility. If God's foreknowledge is taught in the Word of God, then we must believe it. And I do believe it. And I want you to understand something. Yes, God already knows who will win the upcoming elections, but that's not an excuse for us not to go out and vote. So let me encourage you, my fellow Christian, please get out and vote as biblically as you can. I believe that the life of this country depends on it. I will see you next time. God bless you.